And so, when we were talking with bringing the solution live, the old solution had levels of logic, but it was three tiers like novice, intermediate, expert runners, as well as a lottery system. And when we're talking about the capabilities in Sitecore Commerce, and we could bring this new level of dynamic pricing based on especially as we were starting to already move our strategy towards virtual racings for scale of the organization. Pricing based on location, pricing based on time. If you wanted to do a virtual event and you wanted to run at like 4 a.m. and not really be part of the community, can I give that to you cheaper than if you're going to be part of this 30,000 virtual community run? And so all these questions started to come through. And also what's really powerful about dynamic pricing is customers' natural, organic attraction to dynamic pricing, because there's this ethos of like, I'm getting this, this deal, I love and talk about those discovery. I mean, there are full forums out there that exist on the web where people are announcing these discoveries, right? I found this deal. And so these are opportunities for you to drive kind of that organic amplification of some cool ways of driving pricing. So customers love and talk about discovery. They love and talk about bargains. And they love and talk about transparency. And so when I think about these kind of 3 areas, they're really about like 5 different dynamic pricing strategies you can think about. And you kind of put discovery, transparency, and bargains there. Segmented pricing and marketing conditions really hit I would call the center of this Venn diagram there in terms of value to the customer and impact to the business, because the segmented pricing, it's fairly easy to do. If you're in Sitecore Commerce, it's very easy to do. But the idea that I'm going to have this segment, and it could be a geographical segment, New York. It could be a segment of here are my VIPs versus or it could be like if you're in B2B, here's my offering for the mid-level management versus the C-suite. And so segments are pretty straightforward, but it's fairly easy to drive that there, because what it allows them to do is say, okay, look, I understand why I'm getting this offer. If I'm a VIP and you're transparent about your pricing there, like I understand why I'm getting that. I understand I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought on the slide move. I understand, if I'm in New York, that's and then I'm going to go out there and talk about it, right? I'm going to talk about the fact that I'm getting this deal. Oh, did you see this? And so market conditions also to me are very interesting, because market conditions really are about, an example, we did an implementation where if it was raining, I wanted the price of a product to decrease, right? Because I wanted to bring value to the customer, and that price of that product was an umbrella. And so a typical price for it was like $15. And when it was raining in New York, that price of that umbrella actually moved down to $8. Like that's an example of dynamic pricing based on market conditions, or it could just be supply and demand, right? There's some bars in Seattle, bars in New York that price their beer based on the buy and sell, well, not really sell, but the buying behaviors of the people in the bar. And so it becomes really interesting to implement these. And so when you look at Sitecore and implementing it within Sitecore, what we did here is we customized the price card solution in Sitecore. And so the architecture of what goes into pricing in Sitecore is interesting. What you have here, and I know it's gonna be hard to see, but you have catalog, price book, price card, snapshot, tier, and tag. And these are really 6 different ways of managing your workflow of pricing. And so, with the price cards, you're able to set what price you want to have. So if I go back to this slide here, you can see we have friends non-member, friends junior non-member, member, like all these different facets that go into who a user is, makes up their 360-degree view of that user, like these data points. And we have all this different pricing from $0 to $33 of what that pricing looks like to them when they hit that page, when they hit that product. This is one example of that, right? What you can also do is programmatically deliver this pricing. When you look at that workflow, you can create these things called snapshots, and snapshots are a calculated price, at a specific date and time in a given moment. So, example of that could be, what you see in airlines, right? You see market condition pricing happening, and you see kind of date and time, like on a Tuesday, pricing could be cheaper, on a Saturday, pricing could be cheaper. And so you have these mechanisms that exist in Sitecore Commerce, and where we're thinking about it, we have one implementation where we're working for. I can't mention the brand, But what we're looking to do is actually, as a way to capture user information, have them give us their Instagram handle, looking at how many followers they have, and based on their influence, being able to justify pricing, right? So if I'm looking at a $200 pair of shoes, but I see an influencer actually can go out there and talk about this deal they're getting because of the fact they have 100,000 followers, there's a massive amplification that can happen because of that. And so I'm going to end the show there. But I wanted, this is what I wanted to share what we talked about at Sitecore Symposium. I'm not allowed to share the full presentation because that's going to be released in January, I think, to the Sitecore community. And I just wanted to spread the good word around dynamic pricing and implementing that in Sitecore, and really talking about the fact that those capabilities do exist. And if it's something that you're looking in, a challenge that you're looking to solve, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk about it further.